a broker
Mm.
for the contractor. And
And John, it was only one? Just
it's
one?
only one. Yeah. So, and you have to look at the pictures I sent with Monica in the group
Oh
chat.
my God.
It's
Oh,
like, what the
wow.
heck? So like, embarrassed, but so
Yeah.
regardless, we're
Yeah.
another contractor out there to say, what is it going
Sure,
to
sure.
fix this? But this is, and so one thing that we learned as well. So we called the city this morning, and every renovation they did, they had to pass an inspection, the code
Yes.
and all that stuff. And there was no violations we found. And so we're trying to get the reports of all the
Sure,
things, but
sure.
it takes 14 days.
Welcome to the Investor Financing Podcast, where we interview real estate investors and lenders so you can learn all the secrets to getting your projects funded and scale your portfolio. And now, your host, Beau Eckstein.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Vinney Chopra and Beau Eckstein and John Rusin. We come live to you every Friday at 9:30 Pacific, 9:30 a.m., 12:30 Eastern. Thank you for joining us. Please let us know your name, what state you're from, what city. This is a show about real estate, commercial real estate, actually. Multifamily, syndication, loans. Brother Beau is a great, great loan broker. So we do this show to answer your questions. And if you like the show, please let us know through comments, and also share with us, if you'd like us to bring some guests on this show and so on. If you are a guest, go ahead and reach out to us. And that's Vinney at vinneychopra.com or beaueckstein.com. Today, we're going to talk about multifamily. We are purchasing 109 units over there in Knoxville, Tennessee. And we want to take you through the due diligence process today. It's a series of different modules we are putting together, right, Beau?
Yeah, it's going to be really good for people looking to see what the process looks like when you're acquiring larger multifamily assets. And I think this is, critical even for myself. I'm on the loan side, so I'm not on the acquisition side. So I'm going to learn a lot of steps, how to outsource your inspections. You're doing lease audits, all this stuff that I think some people that haven't bought larger properties is going to be very useful for you. And you're going to see the whole process. We have one episode up already. And then what we're going to do is patch these all together when they're done. But you should be watching this every week as we go through this process. And you're about 45 days out from closing now, I believe.
Yeah, right about there, Beau. And the good part is that we did choose the management company that we went through several interviews. We found the great partners, and they were able to graciously do the physical due diligence as well as the lease audit, which is the financial due diligence. Those are the two main due diligences we have to do when we are buying millions of dollars of assets.
That's
And
awesome. So yeah, we can start. So as everybody can see, the property is right here and it goes across the road. And so what this is really showing is this is all downtown. And then this specific road right here, you can't see because of the heavy trees. The city actually has spent over $1 billion, or is actively spending and will spend over $1 billion to make it more of an extension of downtown with breweries, common roadways, walkways, parks. And then on this road, in the past 2-3 years, there have been a lot of Class A developments that the rents are, $2,000 plus per month, which is a lot for this area. And they filled up in 4 months of opening, 200 to 300 unit complexes, very A class, and breweries along here. So this is a very sought after area. But this is the community, and the purpose of this shot is to show how close downtown is. It's all right here. And so, anywhere downtown, very, very expensive. So a lot of people are moving, to South Knoxville because it's the emerging area of Knoxville, and it's, more affordable than living downtown. The first thing we can kind of show is what the property management company did is a complete lease audit. So this is really cool. You get rent rolls, you get T12s, but it's not the actual numbers. I mean, they could fabricate, they can say whatever they want. They matched every single name, number, how long they've been there, jobs, where they work, how much rent, deposits, notes, everything along these lines. And then it's broken down this table here to show. And so, they did this part of the due diligence. And what they had said is, hey, look, we want to be a part of this if we're going to manage the property. And so that's a sign of a good property management company, because, you don't want a company that doesn't want to be involved and doesn't want to know what's going on. But very, very
sure.
Do they
I was
charge
going to
us?
say,
Do they
Go
charge
ahead.
it?
No, both.
Do they charge a fee for this, or if you're?
No, they did not actually. They did say if you are going to be, working with us and signing a contract with us, we will not charge any money. A lot of property management companies will do that. The other way, if we don't go with them, then it was about $6,000, something like that. $5 to $6,000. But they were very kind. There were five people there. Regional manager was there. Everything. One even contractor came all the way from Atlanta to Knoxville, there, right there. One
So
thing I wanted to mention was the detail of this lease audit is so important because that tells us the demographical background, who's living in the apartment complex, are the leases good leases? All this information is not coming from the rent roll, it's coming from the actual leases. They could be digital, they could be physical leases nowadays, but that's what you need in an Excel worksheet so that you're totally aware what's going on, right? That's the financial. Go ahead, Bo. Yeah,
yeah. So what was one thing that they caught that you weren't aware of that was kind of good that they caught now rather than later?
John. Yeah,
So
you
one
want
thing
to.
I was actually surprised. So one thing I was kind of worried about was students. So the previous owner had kind of positioned this property as young professionals, and if you look at the website, it's all I would say kids in their 20s, early 30s. So I was kind of worried that it was going to be heavily student housing, and actually, right around the
Mhm.
hill, it's student housing, A-class student housing, very very nice. But what we found out through this lease audit, there was actually only one undergrad student and one graduate student, so two.
Mm.
So I was, very impressed, and we were right on par. We know that this wasn't the Taj Mahal of apartments where the incomes. There are a lot of six-figure earners. There are a lot of
Yeah.
people making 20, 30. The average is
Hmm.
right around 40 to 60,000, and that's if
Hmm.
you look at the average household income. That's right in, and so this area 5 years ago is not a good area, but now it's become one of the prime spots, and there's so much money. So you can tell it's definitely gentrifying. A
Right.
lot.
And that's what you want to see too, because all around you have Class A.
Mhm.
They're doing all the infrastructure road work, $1 billion of, and then now all of a sudden they're going to be putting bars and micro pubs and all this stuff close to
Hmm.
the property. It's going to become even more desirable as people get sick of all the traffic in downtown, right? So now they're going
Hmm.
to have so kind of like the making of a really good kind of upside on this deal, just from like everything that's happening. I'm not even talking about all the value add you guys are going to do. I'm just talking about like
Yes.
just the way the sprawl is happening, all the new business and the new Class A developments is coming south. So you're
Totally.
gonna be able to use those Class A's as comps
Mhm.
Yeah.
and push your rents up.
Yeah, there's a Class
Totally.
A development right here. It's literally behind these. 3 months, it's over 200 units. The rents are one of the highest in Knoxville. It's completely 100% vacant or full, not
Oh,
vacant,
full.
in
Uh,
3 months. And then there's an apartment. It's a mile away in this area that's comparable, similar vintage. The square footage are a little bit bigger, and it's a notch nicer than the Adelaide, but the rents are literally more than double what our rents are now. And so,
yeah.
we underwrote if we can get to half or three-quarters of what they're getting there, the property is going to be very, very, very good, and we'll easily achieve that because all the amenities and the finishes. We like this property because it's 100% renovated, and they did a
Yeah.
great job with the cabinets, the floorings. Yeah, it's a beautiful property.
Nice property. And again, the same property management company did the physical due diligence. This was the financial due diligence we just talked about. The other part, huge part, is the roofs, the foundation, the sewer lines, running the cameras through them, and also doing 100% unit inspection. 100%. We have purchased what, 34 properties, syndication properties, and every single asset, even if it's 300 units, we have gone through each and every unit. So never take a sample, but you have to do all 100 units. Many times, I would like to say some little, a good point is that sometimes they say, oh, we don't have the keys, or we are locked out, or something like that. Those are the units that many times the seller don't want to show you. They have the mold, they have all these trouble things in there. So definitely ask them, hey, drill a hole, drill a hole. We need to go into this unit. So that's a small point everybody should remember. You definitely want to go into 100% of the units.
So that was what was really good. So our current proper or the new property management said, no, get the drill. And so we drilled through a handful of the units that we couldn't or that were vacant or that weren't home. So
Yes.
they just said, look, that's a cost you're going to incur, but we need to see these units. They're very adamant.
Yeah.
But there were a few,
Yeah.
there were like 3 or 4 units that the residents had COVID. And so we
Yeah.
couldn't enter, but they let us do a visual open the door inspection. But other than that, we saw every single unit, which was cool.
And
Sure.
so this property manager has their own internal inspection team too. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah, actually, they took, right, John, they brought their other personnel from the adjoining properties that they manage. Is that right, John?
Yeah. So what they did, so the regional manager here assembled a team of the top 2 maintenance guys and then the top leasing agents and property managers to come. So there were 6, 7, 8 people. We have formed 3 teams. One team was in the office doing all the lease audits, and then 2 teams, one with each lead maintenance person. And I really liked that the lead maintenance people were licensed inspectors. They were licensed in mold. They had a lot of really cool certifications. And so they each led a team. They had iPads that would mark every single room. So we can look through here. This is 277 pages. So, they took pictures of everything in here.
So do you have now? Do you have kind of a framework of the capex on the property that you're going to outlay, like what that capex budget is going to look?
What would you say to your business saving money and accelerating growth? More than ever, as a business operator, using the resources that you have wisely means not overpaying for those vital business expenses that keep your company moving forward. But ensuring that you're optimizing your savings across every expense category can be a daunting task. That's where our optimization solution can help. It's based on solutions by entrepreneurs and business operators, people like you. We recognize the optimization challenges businesses face because we've faced them ourselves. That's why we built a platform around our experience that data and benchmarking are the only ways to truly know that what you are paying is what you should be. How do we know that? Because we already built a data-driven technology business around true big data modeling and benchmarking, saving thousands of clients more than $150 million. Now we've applied that same experience to our unique solution, amassing trillions of dollars of expense data from millions of businesses, benchmarking every expense category. This gives us the insights to identify your best possible rates. And with your assistance, we will implement them at no risk or cost and without adversely impacting your existing vendor relationships. But that's not where our solution stops. We'll continue to benchmark your expenses against our $6 trillion data lake to continually find new savings opportunities and areas for expense optimization. On top of that, our work is performed on a contingency basis, so if we can't save you money, you don't owe us a cent. You already have plenty of responsibilities on your plate, and let's face it, scouring through your general ledger to uncover possible opportunities where you could save money is a painful and time-consuming chore. This often falls to the bottom of your endless to-do list as you try to keep your organization growing. All we need to begin is a general ledger report from any accounting software. Within a few days, we'll present you with a savings analysis for your review. Next, we'll handle all the negotiations on your behalf. After that, we'll begin performing monthly compliance and optimization audits, so you'll never have to think about overpaying in any expense category again. So call or email today, and we'll help you analyze your expenses, recognize your savings, and optimize your business so you can maximize your company's potential.
That's what we are, going through it right now. And we even have some more contractors coming yesterday and today, right, John? to
Yeah.
look at some of the things. Yes,
Yeah, and
yes.
one thing, so what I've come to conclude is that so when a new property manager comes and takes over a property, they want to cover themselves. So, for example, I'll give you an example on the poles here. So we had a structural engineer come out and check their work. Let me see if I can find it. So right here it says 26 poles need to be replaced. These poles are 25 of them are pretty brand new. Literally the cement here, brand new. All the poles, no rusting. Even the wood here that it's attached to is brand new. There's one pole that's slightly rusted here, and it's not even really load bearing because there's 4 other poles directly. It's on the stairs. I have a video, and so now we just have to double check their work because they said it needs to be replaced. And
Yeah.
we got a couple people, and then another thing is they said this sidewalk's hazardous. So what we did is took a picture of it flat.
Mhm.
It's not even raised. I mean, maybe a centimeter or two, and it had been repaired. And so they said, "Hey, look, this is all over the property." But we had walked it myself, and then our broker for the contractor, and
And John, it was only one, just
it's
one.
only one. Yeah. So, and you have to look at the pictures I sent with Monica in the group
Oh
chat.
my God!
It's
Oh
like, what the
wow!
heck? So like, I'm embarrassed, but so
Yeah,
regardless, we're
yeah.
getting another contractor out there to say what is it
Sure,
going to
sure.
fix this. But this is, and so one thing that we learned as well. So we called the city this morning, and every renovation they did, they had to pass an inspection, a code
Yes.
inspection, all that stuff, and there was no violations we found. And so we're trying to get the reports of all the
Sure,
but
sure.
it takes 14 days. But yeah, so we're excited. But it was just kind of alarming when we had our meeting that they said, "Hey, look,
Yeah.
this," and then yeah. But other than that, it was very, very good. And the property, there's no real deferred maintenance. Every HVAC is good.
Mhm.
But I think they want to cover themselves, saying, "Hey, look,
Sure,
So is there
sure.
is there any rubs or anything? Do you need to do rubs on this, or is this already separately?
Rubs, for the audience, who is watching us later on, right now also, rubs are ratio utilities bill back system. And what is it is that the owner, us, will be paying for water, which is master water coming in. Then it goes to each and every apartment. We don't have individual meters. Then we have trash. Then, we have pest control. And then we have gas also sometimes with the dryers and all. But rubs is how much we're going to charge back the residents. That's what we are finding in this property. It's a value play, Bo. So they are not charging it. They're just saying 845, I think, is for one bedroom. That includes water, trash, gas, and internet, and also the cable. So it's just amazing. They're giving up their farm to the residents in this apartment, at least, 99% occupied. So we knew going into it that we'll have to educate the residents and then start charging them rubs and start charging them for cable, start charging them for, the internet, Wi-Fi, like that. Yeah. Go ahead, John. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
And
think?
so overall, the condition of every unit was good. All inspected were normal, and the report as being good condition. So it was very, like, for a property this age,
Mhm.
very good. And the property inspectors were happy. And right
Sure.
here, so one thing in our contract, the seller has to keep them in market ready condition. So they
Hmm.
noted there's 6 rent or units that recently been vacated. So it's good for us to note that those, for them to hand it over to us, they have to make them market ready or they have to pay,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
cool. And then, well, I guess when Beau, you asked one question, the difference in the leases, I need to confirm this. So we found 56 or 46 units with pets. And so I need to confirm that we're charging 46 units for the pet rent.
Pet
Um,
rent, yeah.
yeah.
Right. Pet deposit, which is non-refundable. Everybody watching us and listening, it's always non-refundable. We charge as much as, $100, 150, 200, but then they have to pay pet fee, monthly fee also in our other communities because we do put pet waste stations all through the community with the bags and everything so that, when the pets are doing then they can lift it up and all that stuff. Yeah. Hmm.
What's so what's left? I mean, other than you doing some get some more bids from contractors and such, what's the rest of the due diligence that's going to happen?
Well, we have phase one study coming right away. Then the lender has also sent the inspection report from the lender. We got a very good term sheet and everything. So that's the other part, right, John? So
Yeah,
John
and
will.
so they also did a property condition
Some
report. The lender,
report.
PCA, and
Uh-huh.
so what is good. Our attorney, because our attorney's been very proactive. He got on the phone with them yesterday and talked
Uh-huh.
specifically, saying, "Hey, look, are there anything we need to be aware of, even though the report's not done? Are there anything we need to be aware of?" And so we're kind of going through solving some things. And I don't want to talk about it, but we're getting things
Mm-hmm.
going. And there were
Yeah,
no major hiccups that we found, which is good. And so, yeah, our
sure.
attorney, the importance of having a good real estate attorney is very, very important because they're the one, words have meanings, obviously. And so to us, the words can mean different than what an attorney says. So it's very important to have a good attorney.
Sure. Also, in the video we got and the report we got from the sewer lines people, right, plumbers, they said that certain areas, what is that, John? It's wearing off or something, wrought
The
iron?
cast iron is starting to rot, yes. And so he
Uh-huh.
recommended there's the grease. And then what made us feel a little bit better, but we're still getting the quotes and everything back, is he said, "Hey, look, John, in these type of properties, we see it all the time. This is common for, a property that's this vintage." And he said, if I were to see it cracking, roots, he used a bunch of plumber words that I don't remember, but he
Mm-hmm.
said, "Look, I don't think you'll have a worry in the next 5 to 10 years." He goes, "Of course, there's an earthquake, something crazy happens, yes, but so it made us feel good. But like Vinny said, it's always good to scope the sewers, get those quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if we have capex over, to kind of shift it to those deferred item or deferred maintenance items.
So,
Right.
so,
Yeah, go ahead, Bo.
so
Yeah.
in the progression of this, by the time we meet next to discuss this, all your bids will be back. You'll have signed
Yes.
off on all of the due diligence, meaning you're now going full steam to closing.
Correct. Supposedly, yes. And we did because of the hot market and everything, we did have non-refundable money day one when we signed the contract. So if we do not go further with this property, we lose that deposit. That's the deal. And after the due diligence period is finished, we also mentioned that we'll increase the deposit, which is going to be going towards down payment. We do have full clearance at this time from the lender, because we will be also building eight townhouses on the duplex. We're going to demolish it on one parcel of the land of this property, and that's going to be a revenue maker. And then 8 to 10 more units we can add on also, which is underneath in the basement. So there are some value placed there, but we'll have to go through ordinance changes from a duplex to a multifamily to build those, fourplexes. Two fourplexes we are looking, right, John? Yeah. Mhm.
Correct. Yeah, because if you do anything 4 or more, you have to do the fire safety codes. It becomes a much highly more regulated, and so
Mm.
by doing it 2, you can still make it safe and a great place to live, but there's less red tape per se.
Surely. In this whole series, please follow us. Again, this is Vinny Chopra and Beau Eckstein, Vinny and Beau Show, and John Rusin, our partner, is here. And we're going to be taking you next week to the next phase and share with you the CapEx and what did we find from the contractors and everything. Then the week after, we'll go towards the closing, what things, we find from the lender as we get closer to it. And then we're going to do another show on takeover. So please follow along with us, for this 6 to 8 weeks series of really great, purchase there in Tennessee. Again, please put notifications on, like, comment, and let us know how we could support you, help you. We've been doing this show for about 2 years now, I think more than 2 years. Vinny and Bo Show every Friday at 9:30 Pacific. Any last comments, Bo or John? Yeah.
No, this is a fun. I love doing this. I think this is really good. I think after we finish the series, we're gonna come back maybe a year later when all the new units are built.
Yes.
We're gonna look at what has that done for the value add of this property.
Yes.
You're gonna be all in at X, purchase price plus CapEx plus construction. And
Yeah.
And then when you get the new appraisal, down the road, what's that going to do? How much equity are you going to make, or increase the property value to put more money back in your investor's pocket, right? And so then we can maybe show how we're going to do the cost segregation. You're going to accelerate depreciation for your investors.
Yep.
Are you guys fully committed right now with all your LPs on this? Pretty much.
Oh yeah. No, money is in the bank. We have already raised the money. We are syndicators, as most of the people know. And yeah, the money is there, and we are very excited. The interest rate is good. We are taking a bridge loan for 3 years, which will go into permanent after that, because we know the value is going to increase from 12.5 to 17 million or so. We are estimating 5 million or 5.5 million increase in the next 2.5 years or so. Then we'll refi and go a permanent debt after that. Yeah. All right. No, thank you so much. We have quite a few people joining us. Thank you so much for spending this morning with us. And please join us again next Friday. Look forward to it. Thank you so much, everybody. And let's go out with a bang. There we go. And there it is.